woman who spent 500 days in a cave, 500 days. Beatrice Flamini liked to be alone so much that she decided to live underground and pursue a world record. The experience was grueling and surreal. And I saw this and I was like, damn, that's really weird. That allegory of the cave and, that whole bit, we've kind of talked about that often on the show, and the human experience and sensory deprivation kind of fits into this, because that's really what that would be like, living at the bottom of a cave for a very long time, right? There'd be just a lot of weirdness happening with this. Okay. Now I'll read you again, this is from the New Yorker, and I'll just read the article summary, because this is weird how this develops and how this starts becoming, let's say, transformative, because now we're pushing the bounds of these sensory deprivation aspects, okay? And don't worry, we'll get to DMT hyperspace later. But check this out. So the article tells the story of Beatrice Flamini, a woman who spent 500 days alone in a cave in Spain, aiming to break a world record and understand her own capabilities. Flamini's initial enthusiasm and positivity in her experience gradually gave way to psychological distress and physical challenges. Despite her claims of a positive experience, experts suspect she may have suffered from post-traumatic stress. The story explores the impact of extreme isolation and the complexities of human resilience. Flamini's experience has raised questions about the limits of human endurance and the psychological effects of extreme isolation. Now, the strange twist here is that not only she wasn't alone at the bottom of this cave for 500 days. She was being monitored. She was recording her antics and her survival time and all the rest of this, right? What's happening on a daily basis through actual GoPro videos, okay? And she was in touch with the surface, and other scientists were sort of chronicling and detailing and making sure that she was safe and, all that stuff. It wasn't just throw you to the bottom of a cave and, hope you come out 500 days later. It was nothing like that. But so she was not completely in isolation. She was being monitored, at least from afar. Okay. But the weird thing is that if you read through the article here, it turns out that after she came out of the cave, she had sort of mixed emotions on the experience, and as anybody who accomplishes something like this would be very proud. But then the scientists around her started noticing changes in her, and they were sort of writing about this sort of psychological harm that a long-term isolation can do to people. And so the individual Beatrice here got kind of cranky with them and wanted to sort of take over the narrative of how this really was, because she felt like they were sort of spinning the story to make it sound dangerous. And anyway, so oddly enough, she's the one with the story. She's the one reporting back with all the details. She's the one who recorded herself on the GoPros and all the rest of that, and challenged herself. But then even then, her scientific colleagues, she felt like they were trying to steer the narrative somewhere else, and she didn't like it. So anyway, just that's the story in a nutshell. Very interesting. It's pretty long, so I'm not going to go into reading this. Like I said, I dropped these links in the description, because if you do want to read this stuff, I do encourage you to read in full, because it's very, very in depth, and it's one, it's not copyright kosher to just be reading everybody's stuff in its entirety. So for that reason, I don't do it. But the second reason is we just be reading articles all day, and that's quite a bit less fun than having a conversation. So this is where it started. I was like, okay, so we've got this sort of sensory deprivation, this sort of social isolation, okay, happening with the human experience, which again, the human experience is really at the core of what Troubled Minds is all about. Now, I saw this next article, and I was like, okay, now we're talking. Oh no, not that one. This one. From nature.com. And then I was like, okay, so I'm already thinking sensory deprivation, sort of the human experience, isolation, this type of stuff, right? And then this one pops up just right there in my, For You articles, and it's from nature.com. And check this out. AlphaFold found thousands of possible psychedelics. Will its predictions help drug discovery? And I was like, whoa, wait a minute. What does that mean? What the hell does that mean? And so here's the thing, right? There's a one of these. Let's see, what do we got? It's this. It's hold on, where is it? AlphaFox. Okay, AlphaFold. Sorry, AlphaFold is the name of this. It's developed by DeepMind. And what is it? It provides open access to over 200 million protein structure predictions to accelerate scientific research. Which means what? Well, it means that this is sort of a predictor of creating new compounds, new actual protein structure compounds, which could be medicine, which could be all manner of things. Okay,